Do, 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 do. Waiting for Instagram to go live. Okay, we are up and running. I almost managed to sync the YouTube and the Instagram live. Hello, everybody. Melanie Ruan coming to you with another live. It's a good day for a live. In case you didn't know, I also live stream on YouTube so that you can watch these replays over there. I'm actually in the process of figuring out. So I want to be able to be on live here, but be filming horizontally so that I can upload it to YouTube later, because I find that YouTube live quality is just absolutely rubbish. So yeah, I'm going to be in the process of figuring that out. But in the meantime, you can still watch over there. The quality's not fantastic, but I mean, all you need is me, right? Hello, Paulina, Leslie, Jessie, Slow Ultra 77. Very good to see you all today. I'm going to be chatting with you about a certain type of woman. Ooh. As you can see, the title is about the self-led woman. And if it's your first time here, hello. Ooh, hello, Candace. Hello, C. Hi, everyone. But I want to talk to you about the self-led woman because I was deep into thinking about this yesterday, and I kind of went down a hole and pulled myself out of it. And I was like, this is worth sharing. People in my world need to hear this because they are going to be able to relate. And I know that you are probably here in my world because whether you know it or not, you are a self-led woman. And the interesting thing is that you're the kind of person who nobody named you as the authority, right? You don't have like a specific title or like specific credentials, right, that would deem you as the authority, but people know you as the authority. And they have for a long chunk of your life. They probably saw that in you from a very young age. What can this look like? Maybe for you, the people in your vicinity and anyone who comes across you, your family, right, your friends, they all come to you for guidance and support in their life. Nobody named you as the authority, but somehow people know you as one. And it's all fine and dandy, right? When we are in a place where we feel like we have the capacity to offer up guidance to people, to offer up emotional support to people, to offer up our wisdom to people and our presence. But there reaches a point, and this is kind of the fork in the road, where as the self-led woman, you ask yourself, who's going to back me? Who is going to support me when I am feeling low and when I am feeling miserable and when I need emotional support? I am the emotional pillar for everybody around me, but they are not able to provide that back for me. It's not because they're bad, but I just know that they don't have the capacity to do that. And usually this happens when we have overextended ourselves and we're feeling drained and we're feeling crappy and we're feeling like, ugh, I do all of this for you guys and you guys can't return the favor to me. Who's going to support me? And I'm going to say something that you might not like to hear. But when you're asking that question, and it's a question that I've asked many times before, we're not shaming, we're just being real. But when you ask that question of how are these people who I'm supporting, when are they going to support me back? You have forgotten who you are. You have forgotten that you are the leader. And as the leader, surprise, surprise, it's actually your job to serve the people that you're here to serve. It's not their job to serve you. We like to think that being the leader means that we get to tell everybody, you do this and you do this and you do this. But it's actually the other way around. As the leader, you're here to serve. And for whatever reason, you were given the authority to be a leader. Nobody named you as one. People just know you as one. Think of a boss, right? Maybe someone who is running their own company and they have a bunch of employees and they're the ones who have to carry the pressure of making the big decisions. Are they going to go and say, oh my gosh, who is going to make these decisions with me? Are they going to look at their employees and feel that resentment and be like, you guys don't have to make any of these decisions? Can't believe that I'm the one holding all of this pressure. That is the role of the leader. The leader is the one who has to hold the pressure of being the guide, even when they don't know where they're going. They're the ones who have to hold the pressure of making decisions and serving the people they're here to serve, even when the people that they're serving and the people that they're making decisions for might not even appreciate it, right? A boss might be making the best decision they can for the company, and they're going to have to hold the pressure of the projections of all of their employees. Certain people are going to be unhappy with their decision. Certain people are going to have this and that to say. Why did they do that? They should have done this, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's going to have something to say. And the leader still shows up and serves. So as the emotional rock and the emotional pillar of your family, of your circles, you can either choose to step up and claim the role that you were appointed, or you can choose the avenue of resentment and pushing away the responsibility. The choice is yours. But just know that the leader does not turn to those they are serving to be their shoulder to lean on, because they know that they are the guide. They are the one who is here to help them, not the other way around. I know that for myself, I was put here to elevate the emotional health of my lineage. And so sometimes you're like, you want to freaking rip your hair out, and you're like, oh my gosh, when is it my turn to cry and have a shoulder to lean on? And I'm going to get to that in a second. Who we turn to for support, because we need a support system as well. But it is not in the people who we are here to serve. So I can look at my family and be like, oh my gosh, everybody here comes and leans on me for support and for guidance and for emotional regulation. And I have every right to fall into the mindset of resentment and be like, why can nobody else provide this for me? Who do I go to when I need that support? Why can't you guys do for me what I do for you? I can choose that mindset if I want to be. Or I can choose to step into the role that I was given and say, yes, this is the arena that I am the master of. And I am going to gladly and generously step into this role and do what needs to be done in order to elevate the emotional health of the current generations and our future generations. So who do we turn to for support as the self-led woman? My bestie Astasia gave me such a good analogy the other day, and I have to share it with you. And I don't know if any of you watch Game of Thrones, by the way. I'm also seeing everyone who's joined. Hold up. Hi, Chantal. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Julio. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Back to the analogy. So, my bestie Astasia, she was sharing this analogy with me, and it just clicked. And I was like, this is who we as leaders turn to for support. And it was a Game of Thrones scenario, which I personally have not watched Game of Thrones. Let me know if you have, and if I should. And she was essentially telling me about this queen who has all of like these dalliances with her knights, right? But she doesn't really care about the situationships, because she knows that they're just flings and they're knights, and they don't have what it takes really to do life alongside her. And one day, she apparently meets a king. And she starts to fall for this king. And she actually starts to really care about this relationship, because she sees the power in this king, and she sees that this is someone who has the ability to walk through life shoulder to shoulder with her. Someone who is also a leader, self-led, and has that equal power. And the way that this translates in real life is not necessarily that the people you will lean on will have power in the same domains as you. Maybe you'll have power in different domains. Some people more in the emotional, spiritual world. Some people maybe more in the physical, material world. But when a fellow leader shows up in your life, you are going to be able to recognize them by their energy. Right? It's like when you meet someone. This is actually a perfect analogy, not only for friendships, but also for finding your people, finding your person, right? I'm talking like romantic relationships as well. There's such a difference when you meet someone and you're like, okay, cute, but I think I'm going to be too much for you. because they're in night energy. And compared to when you meet someone and you're like, oh, this person is not afraid of me. This person is not put off by my intensity. And in fact, they adore it. I can feel that this person has the type of character where they would be able to walk alongside me, shoulder to shoulder, through this journey called life. That's a totally different energy. And so, as a leader, you're going to recognize when these people come into your life, and there is often a phase where you feel like you don't have anyone like that in your life. For a long time, I felt like that as well. And it was only, last year when my dear friend Estasia and I began getting very close that I really felt I had that friend who was walking through life shoulder to shoulder with me. Not someone who I was looking up to as a mentor, and not someone who was more of a mentee, but someone who truly we are on equal footing and we support and nourish each other. And we go to each other as that shoulder to lean on. And I'm so grateful for her. But if you are in that phase where you feel like you don't have that person yet, it's okay. Sometimes you have to learn how to sturdy yourself. And if that is your journey and your phase in life right now, that's okay too. But when your people show up, you're going to recognize them. There's nothing particularly that you can put your finger on. It's an energy thing. You can sense it. Oftentimes, just by looking at how people walk, I can sense a certain density in their energy. And if you don't have that in your life yet, you know how freaking lucky we are to have social media. And that's what I really leaned on for a long time, was being in communities where there were lots of other people who were also leaders. Being in the presence of mentors that really activated something in me. That is the best thing that you can do. So it's not all doom and gloom. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, as a self-led woman, you just have to go through this journey alone. I just want you to remember that the people you are here to serve are not the ones that you are going to run to shed a tear and to look for emotional support from. The reason that you have the capacity to guide them is the reason why they can't do it for you. Did you catch that? You have a greater capacity in the realm that you are a master of. So let's say emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, and you came here to elevate that story for your lineage. And you're looking at past generations like, but you're older than me. Shouldn't you know better? Why do I have to be the one teaching you and helping you what to do? You can't do that back for me. And then you realize that you were placed here to be the leader. Yes, you were placed here to guide them and teach them. And you were given the gift of being able to expand your capacity beyond what they have been able to do, to elevate them and to elevate your future generations. So it makes no sense that you would run to them for support. You lean on the people who are fellow leaders. And one last analogy that I want to leave you with, to give you some hope and something to look forward to. You know, life just gets so sweet when you find those people who are meant to run the marathon of life with you. Oh, and you're going to find them. You're going to find them. Right now, you might feel like you are on a journey, you are on a mission, you are on a path where you are running the marathon alone. Maybe you have people in your life who are cheering you on and who are supporting you and saying, yes, good job, keep going. But they don't fully get it. They don't fully get why you're on the path that you're on. And then one day, you're going to run into a fellow marathon runner. And you're not going to have to explain to them. The spectators, the marathon spectators, they're supporting you, but they're also kind of like, why do you have to do that? Why do you feel the need to share all of this stuff on social media? Why do you feel the need to go on your path? Why do you feel the need? Why are you so heavily invested in this? It does not really making sense. Can you help me make it make sense? And you're kind of just like, I can't explain. It's just, I have to go on this voyage wherever it takes me, however long it takes. I don't know what the outcome is, but I have to go. Because if I don't, something is not going to feel right in my soul. And then the marathon spectators are like, okay, don't really get it, but okay. Cool. Keep going. You do you. Woohoo. And then when you meet your fellow marathon runner, you're just going to look at each other and have this knowing in your eyes. And there are going to be so many things about the journey that you're going to understand about each other without even having to articulate it, without even having to say it out loud. You just get it. But sometimes you have to start the marathon alone and run across the sandy shores and the rocky paths and the bushland and through the desert onto the highway, right? And keep going until the dawn breaks and you see a little speck. That little speck is your fellow marathon runner. And there's just something so cool about running that marathon together, shoulder to shoulder, feeling and knowing what the other person is going through, and just having that kind of support. So that day will come. That day will come. But if it hasn't yet, keep running the marathon alone. Be in these spaces that remind you of who you are. Don't ever lose that. Thank you everyone for joining. Oh my gosh, Nick, hi. Miss you. Shamitha, Agatha, Andrea, Emily, Priya. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I feel today's one is not one that everybody necessarily is going to get. But those of you who are going to get it, it's going to hit deep. Okay? Don't ever forget who the fuck you are. You're a leader. Natural born one. You didn't choose the leader life. The leader life chose you, okay? Step up. Accept it. And your fellow leaders are going to find you along the way. Alrighty, time to get out of this stinky gym gear. Have an amazing day. I will catch you in the next live.